What up? We back. This is the last session of the day. 1183. That's the word 11 and the number 83 is our YouTube channel. Please go like and subscribe. Leave some comments. Leave some feedback if you have some topics that you want to discuss. Something maybe going on in your life that you really can't talk to anybody else about. Give it to Stratton and I, and we'll give you some. We'll give you a little bit of juice, as I call it, maybe some inspiration, something going on in your life. So we're waiting for Stratton to arrive here. And what's up, Paula? Gary, Don, welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to...
All call food.
Go ahead.
We are going to jump into family, not your interior family, your extended family,
Or what makes them your family.
And what makes them your family? What keeps you tight? What keeps you in the family zone? Or do you really value more of the friendships that you've created on the outside of your family? Not necessarily family, but they are your family because you have a bond and you're just tight, and it just works really well. So Stratton and I come from a place where, when we were growing up, we were the true, and we were family. It was it. We ate together every weekend. We were in each other's lives on a regular basis. And as we got older, things changed. The matriarch of our family got ill, and the dynamics of family changed. And so we want to get some insight and some feedback from the community as to what family really looks like for you. As of today and now, are we as tight as we were when we were kids? Absolutely not. We're not. Our families that we have created on the interior of our home, but the exterior of our home is more of we've created families and friends. That's in the friends that we've met and kind of networked with and are a part of our lives. What's up, Dustin? Ange, what's up? Welcome back, Ange. And so family is a touchy subject for a lot of people because there are things that we're supposed to do. There's things that, when we were kids that we did together, and, the matriarch or the patriarch of the family, kept everything together and glued. But as you get older, life changes, life happens to everyone. And what does that look like? And what's it supposed to look like? Are we always supposed to be this one large unit? Are we always supposed to put family first? And I'm not talking about, your husband, your wife, your kids. I'm talking about your extended family, what that looks like for you. And I thought that'd be a great topic for tonight. We'd love some feedback out of the 1183 community. The word 11, the number 83, that is us on our YouTube channel. As I said, this may be the last session for tonight, depending on how Stratton and I are feeling. We may give you one more. But we are on family this evening. Stratton?
I don't necessarily believe in family. I don't believe in the blood family as it were. As Mayfield said, we have a lot of family. But just because you're my blood doesn't mean you're my family. You have friends that are more family and have done more for you in your life than some or all of your family members for that aspect. But you can't say that because you're blood that makes you family, because your significant other, your wife, your husband, that's not your blood. That's your friend that you turned into your family.
Right.
That you probably love more than any other family member. Still not your blood. So blood doesn't make you family. You find people that you make your family. You love them the same way and you give them that title of family. But I don't feel obligated to anybody because they have the same blood that I have. Now, if I have something in me that I can prevent one of them something from happening, and I can donate a part of me, no, fuck that. I can't even say I do that because I don't know you like that. Where have you been? You know,
Yeah.
I'm happier knowing that my sacrifices and what I do for people would be reciprocated if need be. You know,
Yeah.
I
What do you
go ahead.
What do you think changes that
Dynamic.
that dynamic from when we're children to being adults that could separate a family? What do you think some of those things are? I mean, not necessarily specifically, but maybe in your experience, maybe you've seen something that has happened that says, well, if that happened to me, I'd be separated from my family, or that would bring me closer to my family.
Wait, what? Say that again.
So I'm asking you, what do you think are some of the dynamics that kind of separate families or bring
Misunderstand
families? I'm sorry?
misunderstandings.
Misunderstandings. Okay. So in that misunderstanding, because you and I have had, because we're family, um,
Oh, good God.
you know, I'm the younger brother, he's the older brother. I'll never catch him in ages. I'll probably say that in the next, 5,000 videos. Uh, the experience of family from the looking glass of where we have come from, there was a really, really strong bond. I mean, we were the type of family that who said what, and we are in the car,
We were
and we
crabs
are
in a
gonna go.
barrel.
Yeah, I mean, we rolled together. That's what we did. And
No.
as we got older, the dynamics changed, as I said earlier, based on the matriarch of the family, the kind of the glue uh, got ill and came apart, and then it separated the family, for a lack of a better word. And I'd like to know from the community, who else has experienced something similar that has separated the family, and maybe you guys are at odds. Maybe you don't care to see them ever again, and maybe why? What changes that dynamic at a place where, as you get older, you should be a little more wise, and you should say, well, maybe I should let them in, because we always ask ourselves those questions, and myself included. I ask myself those questions. I ask myself, well, why don't I let them in? Why don't I allow them a piece of my life, or why don't I allow them to? Why don't I enter into their lives? And the answer for me is I don't want to, and I don't have to.
Are you sure that's what
As
it
Stratton
is more than
stated
trust?
earlier, I'm sorry.
Are you sure it's not trust?
I don't think it's for us personally. I don't think it's trust. I think it's um,
For me,
an emotion
I
that.
think it's trust. If we're talking about the same family, for me, I think it's trust.
Okay.
The
And
reason,
for you,
huh?
why? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because I've never felt any other pain like I felt from family.
Okay.
So if you equate pain with the people that are supposed to love you the most, and you're not getting that from them, but you get it from everywhere else, you get it from the other people that you've allowed to be in your bubble, then what value do the rest of them have except for the same bloodline?
Yeah. I mean, I
That
can.
doesn't mean that you
I
don't
can.
hold all of your family, but some of your family might be in that spot, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's not necessarily a matter of trust. I think it's, as I keep saying, I said, I'm at a different. I just don't care. I don't care anymore. The family that was mine was torn away from me and taken, in my view. And when it was torn and taken away from me,
Mm-hmm.
I decided that, okay, if I can't have it anymore, I will rest on the memory of what had happened, what existed, and what was real. And I will work to create that within my immediate family so that they know what that looks like, because I know what, in my opinion, what a real family looks like from when I was a young man, or young boy, I should say. And so for me, I have that feeling of what was I loved that was taken from me will never exist again. And so for me to allow them back in my life, or for me to engage or re-enter their lives, doesn't serve me or give me anything, because it was torn away from me so long ago that what I remember I've already created in my house, and I just prefer to keep it that way.
Okay, so with using that same logic, with me playing devil's advocate, because um, I can. Explain to me why, if you're putting so much stock into the matriarch of the family, and that matriarch being gone, why you would keep that away from your existing family, because bits and pieces of that matriarch are still out there in the full-fledged family. So all
It
those
is.
things that you loved and felt, and that heartwarming shit, you didn't get that from one person growing up.
No, no, you're right. But
I mean,
when
it was a collective.
it was a collective based on the matriarch. Okay, so there was a I hate to use this word, but there was a puppet master.
And there,
Okay,
okay.
okay, there was a puppet master,
Mm-hmm.
and the puppet master created a world that was so vivid, so real, so emotionally enticing and engaging. When that was gone, that no longer existed. So whether or not, you know, I allow the immediate family to be intertwined in the world of what really doesn't exist anymore in my mind, why would I expose them to that just in my world? Because it doesn't serve them. For me, now that's me being selfish, living in a selfish space in my head.
It's a control thing. So I'll give you an example. Um, Me and my biological don't get along that well at all. I Before adulthood, I may have seen him 6 to 8 times in my life, maybe half a dozen times. I don't know, whatever. So I kept him at bay for my children. I didn't, because I know the type of man that he is. I kept him at distance. I made sure he
Mm-hmm.
didn't get too close to my children. Only to be talked to and said that, at some point, you have to allow children to learn those. Everybody's not going to be like you. Everybody's not going to be like their uncle. Everybody's not going to be like people that you bring into their lives. People bring disappointment. Even
Right.
some of the closest people that you would call a parent would still bring you disappointment in some fashion. So, me trying to shelter them from an inevitable disappointing future
Experience.
experience isn't helping them grow. Right? That's one of those things that you just kind of let loose of. Because I can tell you right now that while there was one matriarch, each of those individual heads of households, as it were,
Yeah.
hold a special value in my heart from a youth that I wouldn't want to take
Yes.
away from my children at all. But because of the pain and the hurt that I felt as an adult, I am still trying to shelter them from that. Right? So essentially, what I'm doing is I'm putting my baggage onto them. My
I
baggage,
don't see it that way.
my baggage
I
is
don't see it
there.
as baggage.
Well,
I don't see it as baggage because
look at
they
it
don't
this
know
way:
it's baggage, and they don't.
if you don't teach a child that you just can't run in blindfolded and trust just everybody, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Who
yes,
better
that's
to teach
natural. Yeah.
them with the people that they should learn it from their own blood?
Well, I agree with you, but I disagree with the premise that the glue that was no more.
But there's glue
Okay.
that's still there. You can't say that. You can't. The glue stick isn't there.
But I understand. But
Okay,
what I'm
but
saying, as I said before, I in my own little selfish way,
Okay.
have decided to create something that is different. Now, as we have stated in earlier in this vlog, that there are friends that could be more like blood, okay, that can also teach those upcoming some of those things. Now, granted, I could do a better job of being, engaging in that. I just don't want to. And, quite frankly, I don't have to. I have paid my dues. I have done everything that I need to do for myself. You use the word baggage. I don't see it as baggage. I see it as something that's not relative or serve the family for me. My children
Your
are going to be
your
my children are going to be who they
your
are.
immediate family or the family? Which one were you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about in the introduction of introducing the immediate family to the
Okay.
extended
Okay.
family,
All
as
right.
it were. Okay.
Okay.
So, you know, in my mind, if I feel like they're missing something, then they are, but they're not missing something that they've never had, other than me myself and their family here, their other extended family members. So they can't miss something that doesn't exist for them. Just like for me, when the glue came unglued, okay, that was something I was tied into every day. I was emotionally tied into it. And then when it was gone, it was something that I missed and I craved. But I realized it wouldn't exist again. So I had to, I had to untie my shoes. I had to untie myself from that because it no longer existed. It didn't serve me anymore. And so there's no reason for me to retie that shoe because
Uh,
what.
uh, okay. 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 Wait. This is probably a very bad topic for us to get into because I don't want to see the logic behind a decision I don't want to make. And what you're saying, what I'm hearing you say, in my opinion, is not grounds enough for. I haven't been sold, is what I'm saying.
I'm not
And
I'm
I
not
know
trying
you're
to
not
sell
trying to
you.
sell me, but I'm trying to be sold. Because in the situation that we're kind of talking about and the rest of the world doesn't know about, we are essentially the black sheeps of the family. By
I don't know
choice,
about that, but okay,
by,
I'll go with it.
by choice and happenstance.
Happenstance, yes. And we choose the exterior part of it because of the happenstance.
Right. We're okay with
Now,
being on the outside.
because
Because
that's what it's been.
yes.
Okay,
All right.
go.
So I know that what we're holding on to was something from an adolescent stance. Okay. I know also that I have personally cut out, okay, which in turn may have cut you out also, with you being the younger of the two. If I was so difficult to deal with, you can't imagine what the younger one would be like, okay? Because they would think that at my age, I'm probably going to have a little more common sense. But what they don't know is that we're completely flip flopped. You would be more of the calm one to keep me, calm down. But I digress. The point to that is I know that we are keeping things away from our families, our loved ones, our children. We are keeping all that away from them. Nobody else. You and me. They don't know what they're missing. They don't know what they're lacking. You're right.
But are
They
they?
have no idea.
But
But we do.
right.
We do.
But I don't.
Huh?
But we don't.
Why?
What do we know? Okay, so 1183 community. Just since we just happen to be on this topic, okay. So we're talking about a time span of anywhere from, let's
Mm-hmm.
call it, prior to the last couple of years. We're talking about a 10 to a 20-year span.
Let's call it
Okay.
2002.
So we're talking about an absorbent amount of time. Okay. And I am of the firm belief that, just based on what we're talking about, our children, because we're on this topic, our children, in my opinion, aren't missing. We don't know what they're going to get. And as you said, it's trust, right? We don't know unless we start to engage in that process. And once we engage in that process, if there is something, the smallest minute thing that absolutely goes wrong, then we're right back to where we started. So for me, for me,
Mm-hmm.
because just who I am, I'm a Taurus, I'm a bull, I'm just not in. It's okay. I'm okay with it. And as my children get older, if they want to have that interaction, then that will happen. That will be their choice. Okay. But for now, because I am the head of the household and it's up to me, we're gonna do it my way. But they don't know what they're missing, so they're gonna do it my way. So it's not, to me, the family aspect of what was created is no more, and it's unfortunate. But my children aren't missing anything, as far as I'm concerned. They're not. Because and I know, it would take the smallest little thing, the smallest thing that would change that whole dynamic, and we'd be right back in the same boat, rowing down the same river.
I challenge you to look at it from this looking glass. Okay. Your experience, good or bad, is not your child's experience, good or bad. Okay? Because you had a bad experience as an adult does not take away from the good experiences you had as a child that I know for a fact that I remember from the family as a child. And I
Yes.
because I'm as stubborn and controlling as I am, it is very difficult for me to have the desire to give my children all that I had as a child with my extended family because I know what their worth is, because I have a problem with it. Because you're saying that you dive back into that world and one thing jumps off and now we got to pull them back out. That's us. That is us.
I'm not disagreeing.
Okay.
I'm,
So
I'm not
again,
disagreeing.
if you want to give your children everything, I mean, there's corporations that are brought up nowadays because people are trying to figure out where they came from. And we are cutting that tie. No matter how you look at it, we are severing that. As far as we're concerned, it is us on this island, and everybody else is wherever they are still
Okay.
back there. But
Okay.
if we don't, we're okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not. Please don't. I understand what you're saying, and I agree on some level that there should be some interaction. I'm not. What I'm saying is that it's just not going to go for me. That's that selfish part that states that for me that it's just not happening. Now
Yeah.
there are very many people within my circle, within the wife circle, the kids circle. There are there are a lot of people around that can give them love,
Yeah, but that's
get
not the
spoiled.
that's not the same.
It's not the same from whose perspective, though.
Okay.
Do they know any different?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
They don't know any different.
Yes. For the community of 1183 out there, for those of you that do not know, um, our family dynamic is, I mean, it's rough. It's rough. And our families are biracial. Okay. And both of our families happen to spend more time with, I'm not even going to tell you, they spend more time with one side of the family than the other. Okay. And in my own situation, some of my children tend to gravitate more towards one race or another. Um, To me, that's not good or bad. That's it. That's it. Yeah, it's not neither good nor bad.
It's
But
just
I
the
play.
reality of it.
It's a reality of it because I made it a reality of it. Okay. I went through some things with the family through my own devices that I felt I was betrayed. And the only thing that I could do to get back at the family was rip myself away from the family. Because I felt, and they felt, that I was, being the oldest and whatnot, I was a valued member of that. And I felt like I would cause a whole lot of pain if I did that. And then it wasn't enough that I disappeared for a while. I found out that they were still trying to do things sort of behind my back. And I took it that way, behind my back. But it wasn't behind my back because they wanted to still have things to do with their family, the kids. But then I stripped that away from them too. And that's how we are. We control that. Like you said, that's your house. Those are your kids, right? But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's still their family. Now, yes, you're the head of the household, and essentially what you say goes. I mean, with the permission of your wife, of course. But you have to figure out at what point do you realize you're limiting giving your children everything because you're not giving them the option to know the other side of their family, to know who those people are and what those people are like, what those people can offer, what they can't offer, if their love is genuine, if it's not genuine. Because you are bringing them up in a home right now and in a family setting right now that is, yes, full of love, nothing but love. But that's not the reality of the world either. It's not the reality of the world. People don't like each other. You have hard feelings. It's okay to be mad with each other. Okay? What I really like about being in a healthy, good relationship and what I've learned as I've gotten older, it's okay to fight. It's okay to have disagreements. What makes children feel like they're stronger, or what I think makes for a better household, is to be able to have those disagreements, heated or not, argue or not, storm off angry or not, and then still wake up the next morning loving each other and move on with the day. Right? That's how you don't have to get a divorce. You don't have to separate. You don't have to do all this other shit. Just communicate, be mad at each other, know that you're gonna be there sticking it through, and move on.
As I have said a few times over the last few vlogs, who says I'm supposed to do that? Who who said that Mr. Mayfield is supposed to do X? Okay.
Nature.
Now,
For that
no,
answer, for the answer to
no,
that question you
that
asked me is nature.
no.
Can you?
That's
Okay.
not. There are foster parents, there are foster children that exist in this world who know not exactly where they came
Mm-hmm.
from and they're just fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of life.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, just because something that existed, okay? Yes, a family exists,
Uh-huh.
okay? So if the family, if I decide that it's not good for the family, then dad decides that it's not good for the family. They believe that. They honor that. They understand it, whether they understand it or not. They say that, okay, dad says this is not good. We're not gonna go this way. All I'm saying is that yes, while it would be nice, okay, it would be nice, but it's not serving them right now. It doesn't serve them for any purpose. Like I said, there are foster kids that don't have parents at all.
When you say
There may be kids
when you
that have no tie to a family
when
anyway.
you say right now, I mean, at what point does it serve them? At what point?
Whenever if they ever, if my children ever decide that they
You want to look them up.
have a question or they want to ask or they whatever, I'm an open book for them because I'm here for them. I'm not here for the extended family. I am here for my family.
Sounds like the Bible.
And so, I'm sorry.
Sounds like the Bible to me.
In what regard?
What,
I'm here for my family.
what was our what have we been talking about for the last couple of days on our on the website? We've been talking about who said so.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
you're saying so. You're saying what they should do, who they should talk to, who they shouldn't talk to, why they should talk to them, how long they should talk to them, what you should wear when you talk to them.
Well, no.
Right?
Well, I'm just saying that based on what you said. I, like, why does it have? Why do I need to introduce them? Why? Why?
Because that's where they came from.
Okay. How long do you know the entire bloodline of your family?
No, would I like to? Absolutely.
Okay. So you answered the
That
question.
that is
No, you don't. Okay. No, you don't. And nor do I. At some point, they will get older, just like, if they have the I don't care gene, like, Mr. Mayfield, then they may not care. It may not even matter to them because they have to live and go through life. It may not serve them for any purpose at all, other than to say that this person was my dad's aunt, this person was my dad's mom, whatever the case is.
Do
We
you know?
run through this life and we run through this life and as we talked about, we march to a drum. You're beating the drum stating that I should, do X. Not saying you're just using that as a, we're having a conversation. But we're all marching to a drum. We're in control of that drum. When we're children, we don't have control.
Yeah,
We don't.
but
Okay.
you're contradicting yourself, and you're contradicting
How so?
yourself because our 1183, everybody's here's what we say and what we think. Okay, so for you to say we're, I really got to think about how I want to explain this. We are the only race that I know of, African American, that does not know where we come from. We know where we come from. We know everybody can claim Africa, as the country, but
Yeah.
we don't know our people. We don't know the tribe we came from. We don't know who our people are. You know what I mean? Like, our family are highly educated people, very intelligent people.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't imagine that there might be a whole tribe of us out there somewhere like that were our people.
I'm sure there are.
I'm sure there are. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, every other ethnic background, more often than not, Celtic or Jewish or Chinese, Japanese, all of them. Everybody else, Irish, can tell you their bloodline, where their people are from.
Okay.
I'm from Indiana. I got people in Tennessee, and apparently now I found out I got people in Atlanta. But where are we from? I don't know that. And the further down the line we go, when black people have family issues like this, you end up just severing those ties. So then you're just one more line that cut it off. We don't know nothing. We don't know nothing from nothing.
Okay.
And because you or I had the issues that we had with the family and we fell out, maybe the way to bring the family back together is through the children, and let the children form that bond with some of the elders, because at this point, they didn't mess us up, so to speak, as children. We had a blast.
No.
Huge crowd. I mean,
No.
we had a blast.
We did.
until we fell out as adults. So why not let the children, what do they say, lead the way back, I guess, as it were.
Okay.
Let us get our
So,
chip off the shoulder.
okay.
I'm not saying
Didn't
I'm
we
willing to do that.
okay, but didn't we try that at one point?
I put my all into doing that at one point.
Okay. And what did it yield?
Do you want to go down that path? It didn't yield anything.
I'm just
why?
asking.
You know why it
I
didn't?
just want you to answer that question.
I
I
can
want you
tell
to
you
answer that
why it
question,
didn't.
and we'll
I
move
can
on.
tell you why it didn't yield anything. But it didn't yield anything. More
Okay.
animosity, if anything.
So, 1183 is the YouTube channel. That's the word 11 and the number 83. Now, we are on a topic that is close to home for the entire world, is family and what it looks like. Not talking about the family that's in your house, the immediate family that you have, your brothers, your sisters, your children. Talking about the people outside of your home and what that looks like for you. Some of you may have, like Stratton and I, maybe you don't interact with those family members. There's always a why. Do you re-engage them at some point in your life? Maybe you've had that experience and maybe it's been a great one, or maybe it's not been so great.
Or does blood
For me,
make you, or does blood tie you to that?
I mean, yes, blood is blood. It is what it is. But, as Stratton said, we have biracial families. And, that creates a different dynamic. Not to say that love isn't still something that is present, or that they wouldn't give the love. But I'm not willing to go down that road. And that's just the selfish part of me. I'm
But
not willing to.
I don't think you really expressed as to why you're not willing to go down that road.
I'm not willing to go
for
down
you,
that
or
road
is it for
because
your children or your family as a whole? Is it?
it's for my family as a whole. Because that changed, to re-engage that process changes the dynamics for me, which changes the dynamics for me at home. And I'm not willing to do that. When you have a family that is so, we were in each other's lives. Literally in each other's lives. In each other's lives. Every day, every week, Sunday church, all that. We were in each other's lives. So when that was severed, you have things that happen within families that happen all over the world. And what happened for me was I was the youngest, and I was in love with my family, and that was taken from me. And a part of that had to do with my mother, because as we've talked about in the last video, Stratton and I have been loners, and we've been trained that way. And we were trained that way by the matriarch of us, our mother. And I don't necessarily think it was a bad thing, because we know how to survive. We know how to be on our own. But there was a kink in the chain for a reason.
What'd you say?
The reason the kink,
a kink?
a kink.
Okay, all right.
A kink in the chain. And so the challenge for me in family is the one that I've created in my own little world, in my bubble, my friends, my family. I love it. And I will continue to hold on to it. What's up, Tim? Bruce? The hard part for being, when we talk about family is that we're supposed to march some type of way. And based on kind of how we've been brought up and what we've learned in traditions and things of that nature, we feel like we're supposed to. And Stratton has some really great points, because, you should expose your children to the different versions of yourself.
Yeah,
But I'm not,
because they don't know. They don't have any idea.
I agree.
They don't know anything about, really, when you think about it, you. They don't know anything about their father. They know about their mother. They know about, if they don't.
I think they know all they need to know.
No.
I think we're deciding. I think you're saying, what I hear you saying is, you're deciding. You're saying that they have to know this or they have to know that.
No,
What they know of, and I may have misheard you. What they know of me is enough. Why does there have to be more? I am the same. I'm a person. Yeah. Did I like playing basketball or soccer, or was I good at any one particular thing? Did I have did I carry a blanket around when I was a kid? I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, what is there to quote unquote know as it relates to you know where you come from or who are you? You know, so I think
you want me?
there's a gray area.
Are you asking me that question, or were you making a statement?
I'm just making a statement. If you want to answer the question, you go right ahead.
The answer to that question is there's things about you that your family knows that you don't know. So your children can't fully know who you are because you don't know fully who you are. Meaning, meaning,
But
meaning, if if my children think I'm a superhero and they think I'm Superman and I'm invincible, but then they run across one of my their what would be their great aunt, and she's telling them a story about how I turned out the power in J.C. Penney, and they found me unconscious laying between some clothes. That's a story that I've heard before, that I know about, but I have no recollection of. Hard day. But that would be something fun for them to hear about, and fun for them to hear about it from the person that actually saw me and rescued me from that. Somebody that did love me at that time and still probably loves me now. The point is you are keeping, if you want your children to experience all there is to offer in this world with love, and all the love that your your family gives them, why would you not want your wife's family to give them all that same love? The more people that love them, the less work it is for you, because you can sit back and watch them collect, absorb. I wouldn't be the driver that I am today if Uncle Paul didn't put me in the front seat of his car at 12 years old, driving me around the neighborhood in his brand new car. He trusted in me to do that.
right, but that was that was a but,
Mom wouldn't have let
but
me do that.
that was a life experience that was was all designed. That was
And we
designed
are
that way. It
keeping
wasn't.
that from the
There was.
children.
I understand, but there was something that was I making that there was a glue that made that happen. Right? There was a glue. There was a glue that attached you to those particular parts.
You're
So,
saying
all I'm
you are burying yourself right now. I just want you to know that, big going
I
down that
but
path.
hold on. First and foremost, this is not a debate. This is my
I
experience.
know,
This
I
is
know,
me.
I know,
This is not,
I know.
I'm not here to sell anything or prove anything.
I got you.
What I'm saying is that
There was a matriarch. There was
you're
some.
saying that those things have a value that doesn't to me doesn't exist. All of those experiences that you're talking about, they existed at one point in time for your part of your life. That was yours. Our children have their own part of their life,
Mm-hmm.
their experience, and what they're having right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, that gray area that we happen to be talking about, because we're talking about family, that's a gray area. It's what it is. There's a gray area for us. There's a part of that we don't know. So, all I'm saying is there no difference. The only difference is I'm just saying, because I happen to be 450, 500 miles away, that I'm not a part of that. It doesn't serve me. There's nothing there for me. So while you had that part, that experience with your uncle and all that other stuff, that was yours. They have theirs, and there's a gray area. The gray area is that I can implement another part, or I can leave the part where it's at. I'm choosing to leave the part where it's at because it doesn't serve them.
Okay, but what I meant by that was the matriarch brought us into those situations. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So she decided, and you and I both know that this particular matriarch of the family had her own demons with the family, and she still decided to make sure that we had the experiences of. She let go of her own demons and baggage with whatever she was going through for her children's sake, to have a relationship with those people that she also loved. but just had a problem with as an adult.
But that was the glue. There was the glue and then the matriarch, okay? Just so we're clear about what we're talking about here.
Right. But what I'm saying
Okay.
is now you would be the glue. And
I understand.
they would be the matriarch. So it passes down a generation. And all I'm trying to convey to you is if it was good enough for somebody to go through, because I'm sure that person went through a hell of a lot more than either of us have gone through as far as. But we fucking, you know what? To me, our family is like racism. The more and more we just keep talking about it and bringing it up and fighting about it, it's never going to die off. So why don't we just, you know, sit back? You talk about all the time about how many children are in our families and all that they would. I mean, when you think about it, and maybe that's why 1183 had us talk about this tonight. I'm the only one that's being that stubborn that I can't allow my children to have the same type of memories from everywhere. From everywhere. Do you realize they have a it's a rough topic. It really is, because it's eye-opening for me. It allows me to see that I'm the one that's being as stubborn as I am, because I could make a change. The reason when I felt like I gave everything to getting the family back together. You have no idea what I went through to do that. I mean, you do, but 1183, you have no idea of what I went through. But you know what I didn't give up? There was one thing I wasn't willing to give up. I wasn't willing to give up my bubble. I wanted to inject myself back into the family, make sure the water was clear, make sure everything was okay, but I did not bring my bubble. And all they wanted to do was bring the bubble, because they wanted to move past all that other shit. I wasn't willing to do that. That was the only thing back then that I didn't give up.
Family for me is a word that was introduced to me some time ago. And what I know of family, what I remember of family, gives me a warm feeling. And what I've created in a family gives me a warm feeling.
Okay.
We have, as a human race, as a society, falter in regards to having to sacrifice our feelings for other people. Because here's the thing: if I sacrifice my feelings, because that's what they are, they're feelings. If I sacrifice my feelings for my children to introduce or to engage in something that I'm not really feeling, then it's not real, it's not genuine, and it's not sincere. It doesn't create what I want it to create. Because number one, I don't want to create it because it's not there. It doesn't exist for me.
But you know, we're talking about you, right?
And that's fine. They're my children. They are my DNA. They belong. They're mine. There is no golden rule that states because you have a family, you have to be this way. You have to, you have to do this. You don't have to do shit.
Coming from the man that has a family.
Yes.
We have families, meaning we have bubbles, we have extended bubbles, we have friend bubbles, we have all of that. There are people out there that would long to have the family that we're discarding.
Let's put it this way. I can't tell you the last time that I have seen let alone talk to physically some of my family. I can't even remember. So it's almost like I didn't have one to begin with. Now, do I know how I exist and where I came from? Absolutely. But
Do the children?
you're saying that as if that matters to them. As it stands right now,
Right now.
that doesn't matter to them.
Right now.
All they know is that they have a dad that loves them and provides for them and blah blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah blah.
Mm-hmm. Until, see, here's the thing. Again, 1183. I am a little older than Mayfield. I have children.
Yep, won't catch you in
I
age.
have children that are a little older than Mayfield's children. So I know what is kind of the tunnel vision versus wide view. And I am telling you, sooner or later, the babies are going to want to know more about. Okay, you will be equipped to answer those questions
Absolutely.
because you have the history. But at the point that they're asking these questions and you're telling these stories and you're showing these photos and they ask about meeting these individuals, are you going to stop them from doing that then?
Why? Why would I stop them at that point?
Okay. And if you're not going to stop them at that point, why would you not allow them to form a bond or a
Because I
relationship
don't.
at a
You
later?
keep asking me the same. You keep asking me the same
Because
question.
you haven't sold me
I
on the
don't.
answer.
I'm not. I don't have to sell you. I
Well,
don't
okay,
have
sell
to.
the people.
What I'm
Tell
saying is
1183 as to why you don't think it would be valuable to have them form a relationship at a younger age versus asking why not at an earlier age.
because it's not. To me, it's not relative. It doesn't matter. You're stating that it has a purpose. It's there to serve them in some
It
way.
doesn't.
You're
Yes,
it.
it
There's
absolutely does.
there are different lines. Okay, there are different lines. There's a left line and there's a right line, and in the middle there is a gray area or a dividing line. No matter how we look at it. So at one point we were on the left side. Okay. And those experiences that we had and the introductions that we had were all a part of a particular glue. Okay. That glue, once it came undone, there was another matriarch, if you will, our mother, that created whatever she created. Okay. She created it. That was us. We became who we were, blah, blah, blah. Now then there came the line. Okay. The dividing line. Now we're on the right side. Okay. So now I have my own family. I have my own life. I have my own thing. I do whatever I want. It is what it is. You're telling me that maybe you're not telling me. Maybe we're talking to the world as it stands because we just happen to have this conversation. You're telling me that the left side should matter more than what I'm doing over here. And what I'm saying, what I have going on the right side is more important to me than what happened. What happened, happened. It is done. It is over with. It exists. Just like a dog comes into the world, the dog shows up. And then it goes and has a family. Okay? When we think about families and how we exist, I mean, we could go back to, animals, the lions and tigers and bears and all this other shit. All this other stuff on the other side is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. The only reason it matters is because we make it matter. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not trying to sell you on it. I'm just giving you my perspective because, as you know, there are a lot of things I care about or don't care about. I care about what happens over here on the right side. That's the only thing that matters to me. I will answer all my children's questions. If they want to be introduced, I will make all the phone calls and I will do all of the stuff that they need me to do. Okay.
How do they know though? How do they know to ask that question? Because I'm sure
Well,
at some point,
you're saying that their older ones asked that question. You're saying that they're going to ask that question, or there's a picture that's going to come along,
something's
whatever,
gonna,
whatever.
yeah, something's gonna what is in the dark will eventually come to light. Eventually.
I don't see it as being in the dark. I see it as something that existed, just like the light bulb existed and then it evolved. I mean, it's all the same. It existed. It was there. That's all I'm saying. What happened on the left side happened. It was a part of my life. I loved it. It existed, and now it's gone.
All I'm
It's
saying
gone.
is, and it pains me to think about it from this perspective, from a child's mind, or from my mind, if I were a child, is that The only stranger at all really is me, as far as my household would be. I'm the only stranger. I'm the only unknown. Like, did he just appear? Well, you don't know anything. You know he's there. Like, they meet grandmas and grandpas and that type of thing. But where the fuck you don't. Here's the thing. Um, Not knowing where you come from is very difficult to swallow. No matter how you look at it. I know where I come from. I know what has made me. But you know what? It's only the matriarch and the glue that made me. I don't know anything past that. And all those relationships underneath that were very, very valuable to me growing up. Every one of them. And I see when you have a significant other and you see that same type of tight knit bond that they have with someone, and you see that connection and that everybody's tied together over here in some fashion. But you might as well, when you got married, you might as well been the groom side it was just you over there, and then the bride side had everybody. I mean, you're a loner, and we were trained to be loners, survival experts, but you don't have to be. What are you in survival mode for anymore? We're not wolves anymore. Just
I'm
simple
in,
like
I'm
that.
in, I'm in, I'm in survival mode because that's just what we do.
But why?
We're all surviving. No matter
Live,
how we chop it up, if we,
live.
however,
I'm not
however you slice
surviving.
the pizza, we're surviving.
I'm not surviving anymore. I'm
Okay,
already moved
so it
from
would be
survival.
your definition versus another definition of surviving. I mean, you got to eat. Charity says this is touching on so many areas of my family. Thanks for chiming in, Charity. We're glad you stopped back in. Um, you know, there's I don't remember if you said this or not, Stratton, but there's about 7 years that separate Stratton and I. And his experience from my experience
Night and day.
is night and day. And I think that's the dynamic that you see right now as we have this discussion. For him, it's different. For me, I just, you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I have that I don't give a shit gene that says I will be okay, and I just don't care. Now, when Stratton
But it's
began the
not about.
process,
That's my point to that. It's not just about you. We are
but I,
proof.
but
Proof is in the
you're
pudding.
missing
We
what I'm
are
saying.
okay.
You're
We
missing what I'm saying.
what?
You're missing what I'm saying though.
What?
I'm saying I don't care. I don't care. When your niece and nephew decide that at some point that they want to be introduced, who knows if they ever will? They might. Don't know. Got a 50-50 shot. If they have that inkling or that feeling or that urge, then they can have that. It is theirs to bear. If they come to me and say, Dad, well, why didn't we know them? Then we'll have that discussion.
And again,
But I
I
don't.
heard that. I heard you when you said that. My question to that is, if you get to that road and you cross that road and they're asking that question, do you feel like you gave your children the very best of what they deserve? Because they could have, for a fact that some of those relationships are valuable for you.
Okay.
For you. So
Okay.
why would you not want to give that to them?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Do they
Okay.
currently have aunts and uncles, right? That they probably never met.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And they have aunts and uncles that they know and they love to death.
Of
Okay.
course.
So why why couldn't they have why not have all of it? Why would you not want to give all of the love to them? Disappointment and all.
Hold on. Because you're stating based on what you know. Okay,
No,
you
no,
know
no,
that
no,
there's
no.
love.
No, I'm
Hold
not.
on.
I'm not. I'm asking a
So
question.
you're saying you said all the love. You said why don't they have all of the
If
love,
you're,
right?
if you as a parent are denying your children any love based on a fucked up relationship that you currently have with a family member that wasn't like that previously, then you are doing your children a disservice.
I don't agree. I'm not. That's not a disservice. Love is love. If they are loved by 50 people or 100 people, if the other 50 people they don't know exist, what are they missing? That's my point. Now, that's my point of view. That's my point of view.
What do you mean? What are
Now,
they missing? Do you know what they're missing?
I have no idea what they're
What do you
missing.
mean? You've experienced it,
I experienced it over 20 years
but you
ago.
still.
I don't know that I don't
You
I
were.
don't know that
You
that
were.
still exists.
But what do you mean? What do you think about what you're saying? You're saying you experienced that 20 years ago, and your
Yes.
children are children, so they would talk. That it would be. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that the same thing that existed when we were kids is the same thing that exists now?
I'm telling you that we had a matriarch and glue, right? And I'm saying
Yes,
now
we
the
had matriarch and glue.
now I'm saying the children have a matriarch and a patriarch, right? Currently.
Yes,
Okay.
currently, yes,
And
yes.
there are all sorts of glues and yes, I'm saying before we had one. We had one that was out there. Just
Right.
one. And I'm
Just
saying,
one.
and what I'm saying is there are a plethora of them out there now that all act the same way as that one matriarch did.
Okay. Okay. Yes, you are seriously trying to sell me
No,
on
no, I'm
I don't
not, because I'm not
I
sold. I'm not even sold. What I'm saying is
okay.
bouncing this off of you and the community of 1183,
Right.
I'm
Right.
is opening my eyes to it's not just about me anymore.
Well, I understand. I understand it's not about just me. Okay. I don't
Care.
care.
Yeah.
I don't. And it may sound really strange to the community. It may sound really bold or fucked up or whatever we want to call it. But when you have an opportunity like I have or had, should I say, with the family that I did and the memories that I had, okay? When there is someone or something or a group of people that change that dynamic and it no longer exists, okay, as a child, okay, as a preteen, okay. So when that takes place, okay, life happens. I grow up, graduate from high school, go off and have my own life, and I haven't seen these people since that time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 38 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, for me, they're not missing anything because I haven't missed anything,
I can't.
in my opinion.
I can't.
I'm a,
I know it's your opinion. I can't get behind that opinion though. I want to because I want to for selfish reasons. But logically, I can't stand behind that. And the reason I can't stand behind that is because
you can't miss something that you don't have. That's logical. You can't miss something that you don't have. If you've never had $1 million, you can't miss $1 million. It is what it is. If you've never had a $500,000 house, I mean, it is what it is.
okay, let me ask you this: Did do you long for more?
In, more in.
Do you long for more?
I always want more.
Okay. Okay. So
How long is the video? I can't, for some reason I can't see my timer.
I don't know. And mine's not doing it either. How long are you doing it?
Anyway, go ahead.
You made me lose my train of thought. That's all right.
Wanting more. What's up, Roger?
Um, yeah, wanting more. I still don't.
Charity
My
said,
mother kept me from my father, and I was upset. Then I met. Then I met him.
and it finally made sense.
He was talking about speaking of experience. Oh, until you, I'm I'm gonna use charity as a hypothetical because I've kind of been in that same type of situation. Okay, as a child, I'm sure you longed to find out who he was. Okay, we don't.
1 hour, 4 minutes. Thank you, Charity.
I guess that means we need to go. We need.
uh,
Okay, all right.
no, go ahead and make your point. I was told we could stream for 4 hours on here, but that is what it
Nobody.
is. It makes for longer. Make your point, and we'll exit.
Everybody's decision causes a reaction out of other people in some fashion. While I know that my father was a piece of shit, I know that a man with no ambition, um, no drive, no dreams, no goals, no nothing. I also heard stories of him at a younger age. So at some point, I believe I've had a stage in my life where I was just a piece of shit. I can own that. I didn't care about anybody, anything, and I was good. I was only out for self and survival. But at some point, things in people's lives change. And sometimes those changes could be small. It could just be the opening of a stone cold heart such as yours or mine. The opening of that, the softening of that could cause a significant change in somebody else. You know, my mother could have hated my father for one situation or several situations. Okay? But I don't know if me being in his life could have changed any of that because I'm nowhere near a piece of shit now. I've had my moments, which means I got that from somewhere, but maybe I could have helped turn him around a little bit. He was toxic, yes, but maybe having his firstborn son around him a little more often, if my mother and his relationship wasn't toxic, doesn't mean my relationship has to be toxic with him. Now, more often than not, it does with some outside influences or whatever the case may be, but I'm an innocent, right? He can still, there are parents out there that are pieces of shit.
There are.
I mean, but one person's piece of shit doesn't mean the other person believes it's his piece of shit too. You just may not have the same beliefs I do. So now I'm a piece of shit because of it.
I don't. Charity, thank you for sharing again, and thank you for the update on the 1 hour and 4 minutes.
I didn't make a good point. I was
I
what I was trying to say is you never know what would make a person toxic. So you can't really judge that he's a piece of shit. I know that my father is a piece of shit, but I'm not judging him for being that piece of shit. And I'm not saying that you were Charity. I think I took that kind of heart to heart because I know that my pop is a piece of shit. But I just have to strive to be a better father than he ever could be. And I think I see a lot of the same things that I do still currently that my mom and dad did that I wish I could change. And one of those things would be the family aspect of things. You know, my mother was a loner to the fullest letter of the word. And she made it so far in her life, her short life. But imagine if she wasn't a loner. Okay? Imagine if she used her network, her people, her family. If it wasn't a
I don't.
chip on her shoulder,
You know.
who's this,
I,
who's
I'm.
that?
I don't want to
I
cut you off, but
digress.
you know, family is a. You you do your best to protect your immediate family, When you grow up as a child, you have an immediate family, you have an external family. And when you grow up, you have your own family, and you have the external family. As parents, is it our job to give our children the best life possible? Absolutely it is. But we are a part of that. We are a big part of that. We influence our children in a way that they probably won't understand until they're adults and live and have some life experience. But I think that's a part of life. I feel that when my children decide to ask that question, if they ever decide, that we'll have a very intelligent conversation and they will have an understanding. For me, at this particular stage in their life, they're young, and it doesn't serve them. They get all the love and attention that they could bear, that they could bear. And for me to engage in that other part of it just doesn't serve them. It was a part of my life. It was mine. It was my life. It's not their life. It's my life.
Are you a
And so
part of
it's
your
up to me
children?
to. I'm sorry.
Are you a part of your children?
Of course I am.
Your DNA is in them.
Yes.
Okay. Who do they see more like people of? Who do they relate to more? Who do they understand more?
In regards to, what do you mean, who?
If I cut my children out of my side of the family and they only see me, but my significant other has her whole family around, and my children can see my mom's personality and grandma, my mom's personality, and my uncle, my mom's personality, and I mean, I see her
You,
personality. I see so many different parts of me and so many different people, but I don't have any idea of where I came from.
that's because I understand.
Imagine
I
going to
understand.
a
But you think
village.
that,
Imagine in
but
your neighborhood you live in, and everybody is like you.
you think that that matters to them.
It
You
should.
think that that
They
matters to
don't know
them.
what matters to them or doesn't matter
That's
to
my
them.
point. It's all about
So
them.
why do
It
you
doesn't
think it
matter.
doesn't matter to them is the question.
It's not relative.
Why is it not
It doesn't
relative
matter to
for
them.
them? Why do you believe you had it? You
I
experienced it.
and what they have now is, in my opinion, the same love that they would have had when the same thing that I had. I had love.
From
I had
both?
love. I had
From
family.
both.
They have love. They have no. They have love and they have family. Love and family. That's what they have. That's the common thread.
They have.
You're talking about two different. You're talking about, I see mommy's side of the family. I don't see daddy's side of the family. Who cares?
Okay. I see a value in it. You don't.
And
We
I and
agree
I
to
see
disagree.
I see. I'm not disagreeing with you. I see a value in it as well. But it doesn't. What I'm all I'm saying is it just doesn't serve them. It has nothing for them. It doesn't do anything for them right now. At the time when they come and they say, "Hey, Dad, hey, I need to know great aunt such and such," hey, I'm all for it. It's me. It could be wrong, but it's right for me. It works for me. 1183 is the channel. That's the word 11, the number 83. We love y'all, Charity. Thank you for shouting us out. We greatly appreciate it. Go to YouTube, check us out, like and subscribe. We hit you with a deep topic. We may come back, we may not, with another one. We've done 3 tonight. Family. This is real stuff. REAL. It's real. Real stuff,
Who's
real
all
topics, real
who's all
people, real issues.
who's all on there right now? Do a shout out real quick so we see who's there. Because I can't see that. See
Charity,
Carrie, Ahmed's there. What's going on,
Roger
guys?
stopped by, Jason, Bill,
Chad,
Timothy. I don't know if you're still
Fred,
watching.
Wendy,
Bruce,
Timothy,
David, Dustin. We
Renee,
appreciate all you guys stopping by.
Enith,
Drop us
Billy
a
Joe.
line. Let us know
I
if you
hope
got anything on
everybody
your
went
mind.
over to YouTube and went ahead and subscribed. This is a lot of people on here.
Yeah, stopping by.
I appreciate the stop by, but I want to give you the present of watching some other ones because they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I was there.
So
I actually saw it when it was done.
the Stratton and I are brothers. We come from a place that
Oh,
is,
excuse me.
bless you,
Excuse me.
is not the typical place, and we have some really strong views. There's some time that separates him and I, that in the family aspect of it, that he's seen more side of the family, maybe the raw side of the family than I have. I had a different experience. And I think my experience has taught me to do what I'm doing. And that's totally based on my experience, and it serves me. His experience is one thing, and whatever he's doing right now, it serves him in his experience. We brought this up today because it's just close to home. It just, we just don't talk about it much. There are families that are separated for different reasons. There are families that are together for particular reasons. And maybe there's a glue that is holding your family together. There was that glue for us at one particular time, and that glue came unglued. And so it happens, I think, to everyone on some level, but how we deal with it and how we process it, how we implement our own families into the exterior family may all be different. And we would appreciate some feedback. I will have these videos posted very shortly. And we're 1183.
Deuces.